You are watching William Patterson University Television.
Welcome back to our 11th annual Brave-a-thon. I'm John Conlon from WPTV.
And from the Student Film Association and WPTV, I'm Joan Cavallejo.
Thanks again for tuning in and celebrating local music with us today.
This portion of our 11th annual Brave-a-thon is sponsored in part by Fry Guys, American Hero Smokehouse and Barbecue, veteran-owned and operated. They give 15% off for students, Manhattan Bagel, and David Precise.
Want some behind-the-scenes sneak peeks? Check us out at Brave New Radio on Instagram and Twitter.
Or just use the hashtag Team Hobart. That's Team Hobart.
Up next from Somerset, New Jersey, please welcome Today Is.
She listens to Coldplay, listens with a scarf, half of her face to the shift to see her. And a score up, black coffee, child like one day. She makes sure that she steps on all the cracks to her mother's back. He's been losing sleep, spending most nights drunk playing Mario Party. He's such a good kid, sexy his dead mom's body skipped out the funeral. Couldn't get away. Oh, he just kept saying, life would just prevent the inevitable. Back on all my mistakes. I'm taking long drags from a short cigarette. I've been wasting my time counting all my mistakes. And we've been sitting in this long Doyle Street lane looking for parking. Oh my God, it's a rip-off of a modern baseball classic. Count the album all you do. I don't even care anymore. No, I didn't even care anymore. Lately, I've been taking long tracks from a short cigarette, drinking iced tea and water under rain skies and cloudy weather. Cloud my vision on whether I can get something right. Oh, I can get something right, something right, something. Next one's called He Listens on Repeat. He's gotten high in the basement. She's with his brother in the next room over. I'm watching her from the corner of the party. In shirts and say nothing. With our red plastic cups half full of cheap beer, trying to drink ourselves away from here. With our red plastic cups half full of cheap beer, trying to drink ourselves away from this place. He shows the dark blue by he listens on while she's saying she's sorry. Drunken not mistakes turn into modern regrets. Giordano on the road where he stabbed her back. She tells him she hates him, and he tells her the same. She yells that he's high again and says he's changed. She tells him she's sorry and done with these games. Was that a ring that her grandmother gave She tells him she hates him, he tells her the same. She yells that he's high again and says he's changed. She tells him she's sorry and done with these gameful Saturday that her grandmother gave to her. Is that unwarning? It's that unwarning. It's that unwarning. She just walks away. She just walks away. She just walks away. She shows some dark blue by jazz. He listens on repeat, watching and she's sorry. Trucking night mistakes turn into morning regrets. Oh, I knew her through where he stabbed her back. She shows him dark blue by Jack. She shows him dark blue by Jack. Quick. That's pretty quick, right? Next one, it's called Tripping in the Dark. I love it. So, hope you guys like it. I'm always tripping in the dark over conversations, making small talk about our lackluster relationship, Facebook statuses. With our parent while we sit alone in our room, pretend to study, so late up early, and still Irishing our coffee. Recently, I've been purposely stepping on Legos to find a piece of something left and then my arms and my eyes are as wide as the sea. Begging you, can you see me? Knots in my stomach to keep me from hitting the floor, exposing my cheek skin until it's paper thin. Tying knots in my stomach to keep me from hitting the floor, exposing my cheek skin. Tell it's paper thin, by the blood of the workout that trickles out. Have you ever felt just like this Saturday? colors get washed out. You'll paint yourself brand new again, just to be worn down under your cheap skin. Have you ever felt just like the sun in your house after enough time? Colors gets washed out. You'll paint yourself brand new again, just to be worn down under your cheap skin, under your cheap skin, cheap skin. Next one's a new one. It's called Paperclip. Monday morning, wake up early, kicking off my bed sheets, look at the clock, go kick rocks. Time is always ticking. She wakes up late, eyelashes fade, sips her first glass to pick up a coffee. She sips on a train heading away from campus, putting her hair into a ponytail so it doesn't get in the way. You know I wanna be the line that stains your teeth. You know I wanna go so you are. You know I wanna be the line that stains your teeth. You know I wanna go where you are. I've been trying to get to sleep, but every time I think of you, I forget to breathe. Your eyes are as deep as the pools of blue in West Palm Beach, and you've been in my head for so long that I should charge your end, charge your end. Pay all of the laugh. Who has time for that? You know I wanna be the line that stains your teeth. You know I wanna go to you are. You know I wanna be the line that stains your teeth. You know I wanna go to you are. I'm your dead bird as days you are in traffic on Route 22, on your way home from RV, Raritan Valley. The parking lot was steep, as a coat in the snow as you start to freeze. Oh, as you start to freeze. You know I wanna be the line that stains your teeth. Goes where you are. You know I wanna be the line that stains your teeth. You know I wanna go to you are. I'm your dead bird as dead as you are in traffic on Route 22. On your way home from RV, Raritan Valley, parking lot was coat in the snow, she start to freeze. Oh, she start to freeze. Oh, she start to freeze. Sweet. Next one, pretty old one, but I really like it, so I'm gonna play it. It's called Shot in the Dark. You were shot in the dark. When I was hidden in plain view, you never knew I knew you. You were the street light. I was an empty street. We kept each other company. You look like gold, sunlight, I knew we had a night. I look like I was a street light, and you look like gold, sunlight, and I knew we had a night. Got way too drunk and texting things getting me. I messed up, baby, I'm sorry. That's what you told me. Drunk mind, twisted sober heart, and I never knew to fall out this hard. Took this stage and played your part. You were my cigarette, and I was your placemat, and we kept time on your front step. You were the trees in the fall. I was the dairy, and now you're feeding horn. I look like I lost a street light. You look like cold sunlight, and I had a time. I look like I lost a street light. Sunlight, and I knew we had a way too drunk and said some things you didn't mean. Yeah, I messed up, oh baby, I'm sorry. That's what you told me, but a drunk mind speaks a sober heart, and I never knew to fall out this hard. You took the stage and played your part. Drunk and said some things you didn't mean. Oh yeah, I messed up, baby, I'm sorry. That's what you told me about his drunk mind. It's a sober heart, and I never knew we'd fall out this hard. You took this stage and played your part. Sweet, I got one more for you guys. It's an old one. I wrote it when I was a freshman here at William Patterson. It's a great song. Great time here. It's called Broke College Kids. And Cheryl's got a new job, bartending late nights down at Charlie's. We never order anything but cheap beer and black coffee. Yeah, Mikey just got kicked out of his house. He was living in his car, still working at the 3 jobs, checks run dry at the bar. We're broke and we're college kids. Bonds in the grand scheme of things. Oh, is it really worth it? Oh, is it really worth it? Yeah, we're broke and we're college kids. Bonds in the grand scheme of things. Oh, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? And Cheryl's got a new job to pay for next semester. She doesn't have time for her classes. And Mikey's found a new place in the clouds with his friends. He recently kicked the bucket because the money that he owed them. We're broke and we're college kids. bonds in the grand scheme of things. Nah, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? We're so broke and we're college kids. Bonds in the grand scheme of things. Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? I'm so tired and I'm just fed up. College life expects from us. I'm so tired and I'm just fed up. What college life expects from us. Yeah, we're broke and we're college kids. Bonds in the grand scheme of things. Now, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? Yeah, we're broke and we're college kids. Bonds in the grand scheme of things. Now, is it really worth it? Oh, is it really worth it? We're broke and we're college kids. Bonds in the grand scheme of things. Now, is it really worth it? Oh, is it really worth it? We're broke and we're college kids. Bonds in the grand scheme of things. Oh, is it really worth it? Thank you.
Thank you again to Today Is. We'll be back in a few minutes with more. This is Brave-a-thon on WPTV and Brave New Radio.
Welcome back to Brave-a-thon. I'm John Conlow.
And I'm Joan Cavallejo.
And we're back with Today Is. So you had a great performance today. So how long have you been performing?
I've been doing music as Today Is, well, technically as Facebook calls it, August 12th, 2012. So that's when I officially started as that band. So sophomore year of high school.
All right, interesting timeline. So today you did give us a little bit about just guitar. Is there any other instruments that you play?
I play a bunch. I actually just recorded a record like on campus with this really cool guy, Dan Escuza, who recently graduated. And in there I play like guitar, bass. I wrote a keyboard part that I had one of my really good friends play. Play guitar, bass, drums, keyboard, ukulele, play a little bit of banjo.
A banjo? That's different. I feel like that's very different.
I also play this one instrument called a melodica. It's kind of like a horn, but has a tube to it, and it looks like a piano.
That's cool.
So like a bunch of different stuff.
All right. That's cool. I mean, I named like over 5, probably.
A little 5, 6, maybe.
Oh, you were very talented.
I've only played one instrument, so.
It's all right.
How have you evolved musically in your life?
It's because I started off, I taught myself how to play the guitar. Was my first instrument when I was 10. And then just the stuff I was listening to, and the things that I listened to changed the way my sound progressed. Like I started listening to like Never Shout Never and acoustic music as a kid. That's why it's still kind of a part of like the core aspect of what I do is a lot of acoustic influence music on top of it. But now I also listen to like a lot of like punk bands and things like that. So my sound is more like a harder, with still keeping the acoustic, but the sound progressed as I got older, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm really interested in knowing a little bit about that last song that you played. I mean, I thought it was just spectacular.
Yeah, it's really good.
Tell us a little bit more about that. Like, I have an idea where the inspiration came from, but I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah, the last song, Broke College Kids, I wrote it when I was a freshman here at William Patterson, and that song is really story-based. It's funny because a lot of people like that song, but it's a really dark song. It talks about one girl named Cheryl who has to work a bunch of jobs to pay for college, but she doesn't have time to go to college because she's working for it. And then there's one guy named Mike who got kicked out of his house, and then he ended up dying because of drugs. So it's not a very upbeat song.
Well, I mean, you know what it is about it? I feel like it's very relatable.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like broke college students, I mean, we're all broke
least half
college
of us
students.
here, so.
Yeah.
I feel like it shows like very vast different sides of what the ups and downs of college could be like.
I agree.
And I really like it. It's especially because I wrote that when I was 18. And to have that kind of insight and to look back on it and think, wow, I can't believe I thought of that then and at a time in my life. So I thought that was pretty cool. That's why I always like to keep that song with me, like when I play it, when I play shows.
Okay.
So we know a lot of musicians have influences. Who are your major influences that helped you start your band?
Yeah, a lot of great bands. Like when I was younger, it was like Never Shout Never, Fall Out Boy, All Time Low. Those are really great full bands I loved, and it helped me progress my sound. And then like towards the later half, early college, end of high school, I was listening to emo bands like Hidden in Plain View, Real Friends, Modern Baseball, and now as I've gotten older and progressed, like my sound's more like bands like Pup, who just came out with an amazing album. Pup is really good. Diet Sig, Charlie Blitz, or like Soccer Mommy. Really like indie bands, female-fronted indie bands are really great. And then there's bands like Pup, are just great Canadian full-on punk band, and great lyrics, has a lot of meaning behind it. I love stuff like that.
Oh, so you had a lot of like great inspirations. I feel like that's amazing. Now, we've all had challenges in our lives, you know? I mean, we've all had challenges related to our field and whatnot. Tell me about your challenges as a musician.
Most of the time it's like trying to get enough people together to play in a band. So that's why I love playing acoustic. So because if I don't get that chance to, like, if I can't get everyone together in enough time, I can always just go out there and play my songs the way I initially written them by myself in a room with the acoustic guitar. I can just go out and play it like that and still feel like the song is fully incomplete even without the full band. But that's like, my real goal is to get a full band, but if that doesn't happen, I can always play my songs the way I want them to.
Now, would you say that it's easier to work by yourself rather than in a group?
It's much easier, but it's also harder because, like, although I do play all those instruments, going in the studio and playing all those instruments does take a lot of time. But it's very fun. It's cool to say, yeah, I wrote all the parts, I played all the parts, but it would be easier, and I feel like it would be cooler just to have like a full band feel, because like you never know what that other person has to input to the music that could add something that could be super cool, or like this super different like key change idea that I would have never thought of if I wasn't working or talking with someone else.
I mean, there are pros and cons to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So we know you talked about all the other instruments that you've played before, like the banjo, which is pretty cool. Have you ever tried any unconventional methods or instruments to your music that, you know?
That I use a lot of in writing. I started writing a new record, and in the process of that, I wanted to use a lot more horns in it. So I went and I picked up a melodica, which is that horn / piano shaped instrument, where it's basically a horn, but it's also a keyboard, and it's weird sounds. Also, I have a pedal board, and on your pedal board, it's a bunch of different pedals and different effects that you can give to your guitar. And there's some that are just out of the ordinary, or like different types of reverbs and effects to make just the sound different than an actual guitar, and to bring some new life to that lead part or a bass line that needs something else to it, because there's always something, it feels like there could be something else there.
Yeah.
And so like adding those pedals to it also makes that unconventional sound that sometimes is really necessary for a song, and I really like to do that sometimes.
Okay, that's really interesting. Now, we've heard a lot about your inspirations and what influenced you. Now, I really want to know what got you into music. Like, what was the thing that was like, I want to do music?
I really liked a lot. What I realized that most people don't do, and then I realized like I was probably one of the only people do it, is like when I go to YouTube and if I find a cool song that I like, I'll go instantly to YouTube and I'll watch live footage. I love watching live footage of bands, because like I feel like you have to have a certain way of feel of the song. Sometimes I'll listen to a song and I'll love it, and then I'll hear the live version. I'm like, it's nowhere near as good as.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Like,
yeah, I've been there.
I love when a band plays a great song on a tape, and then they bring that exact same energy, all the same background vocals and all the same thing to that live sound. That's why I love bands like Pup and Diet Sig so much, because like they're playing exactly what they played on the record, and they're playing it for you live, and they bring all the same energy, all the same intensity to the music as they were doing in the studio. And so like live, actually seeing live footage and seeing that, and then me trying to like learn how to play some songs to it, and it was like, oh, I can learn some songs, and then thinking like, maybe I could do this.
Yeah, I always don't like listening to some songs with all those effects and then listening to it live. I like listening to it, as you said, as it was recorded, which is pretty cool. So you talked about all the bands that you've listened to and how they influenced you. How has your sound progressed over the years and changed?
It first started off as like maybe really lighthearted, because I didn't really have any life experience to like write about like actual important stuff. So it was just like lighthearted or trying to sound sad songs. And then as I progressed, I with more of a life experience, I started to add whenever I was feeling a certain way, I would try to put that down on paper instead of just feeling it out. And so I've progressed in a way of more using my emotions to tell stories in my music instead of just writing and playing something out and just making it up off the top of my head. I learned to use more of a real emotion or something to tell a story instead of just making a song about nothing. Because like anyone can make a party song.
That's
but
true.
It takes something else to put more of yourself or more of your personality or something about you into that song. I feel like it takes a lot to do that. So I've been moving slowly towards that, and the more you write, the more you get better at it. So I've gotten better throughout the years of just doing that, and I really like doing that style of music.
Well, that's interesting. Very, very, very interesting, and it's crazy how you find inspiration, really. Well, thank you so much for coming out today.
No problem.
One
Thank
last time, we want to thank Today Is for joining us. Coming up next is Hold On. This is Braveathon on Brave New Radio and WPTV.
You are watching William Patterson University Television.